Fighters History! Dynamite! Round 1, fight!
Big tornado! Will kick!
Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another episode. On today's show, we're going to be taking a look at a fighting game for the Neo Geo called Fighters History Dynamite, and this is actually the second in the Fighters History series of games brought to us by Data East for the Neo Geo CD in 1994.
Will kick!
Fighters History, as a series, has kind of a unique history to it, being that it was involved in a legal dispute with Capcom back when the first game was released. Capcom had initially stated that Fighters History, in their opinion, had stolen some elements from the Street Fighter titles, but ended up losing that case when Data East tried to prove in court that its game Karate Champ, which predated Street Fighter by a couple of years, was actually the true originator of the modern fighting game.
Spinning wave!
The first Fighters History game, which was actually ported over to the Super Nintendo, utilized a 6-button control setup, not unlike the Street Fighter games or any combination of fighting games out there. When the sequel came out on the Neo Geo, because of the constraints of only having 4 buttons, the control scheme was changed, of course, to match just 4 buttons, so you just have a light and a hard attack for both a punch and a kick, as opposed to having 3 different strengths for all your different attacks.
Big tornado! Alright!
The thing is, though, about the control scheme, it actually really works well with 4 buttons as opposed to 6. It makes the game seem much more fast and fluid than it did back on the original game, and the Neo Geo version of Fighters History Dynamite is very quick, very fast-paced, and a ton of fun to play because of it. There are a grand total of 13 selectable characters in Fighters History Dynamite, compared to 11 in the original game. The good news is that both of the bosses from the original, both Clown and Karnov, are selectable and playable from the get-go in the sequel.
Tornado! Big tornado!
One unique feature of Fighters History Dynamite would of course be the weak point system. You'll notice as you play with more and more damage that's accumulated to any character throughout the game that one piece of them, be it usually a part of their costume, will start to flash. Once this happens, it just basically means that you're close to being stunned, and if you take a few more hits, usually that part of the costume will fly off and result in you being dizzy for a couple seconds and allowing your opponent to get in a couple of extra hits.
Big tornado! Big tornado!
The special move structure in Fighters History Dynamite is going to be very familiar to you if you ever played King of Fighters or Street Fighter or anything like that, meaning that the moves are done via quarter circles, half circle movements on the joystick, and of course charge moves, which are holding back for 2 seconds, then forward and a button, or down and up, etc.
Will kick! Spinning wave!
The AI in Fighters History Dynamite is fairly well balanced. It presents a pretty good challenge. It's not overly cheap. It's not like Galaxy Fight on the Neo Geo or some of the other games that just seem just irresponsibly difficult. Fighters History will provide a good challenge, and to be honest, the AI will make you better.
Big tornado!
They do play hard, but they are fair for the most part. It's really almost like playing against a friend that's sitting next to you in the room, and that really helps to contribute to the game's charm. As far as the graphics are concerned on the Neo Geo, I think that Fighters History Dynamite is an outstanding looking game. While not one of the best looking fighting games on the system, everything is very cohesive, it's very vibrant and colorful, there's lots of background detail in pretty much all of the stages, and the characters animate really, really well. It's just a very smooth looking game.
Big tornado! Big tornado! Will kick!
And to be honest, I've got nothing but positive things to say also about the sound effects and the music quality in Fighters History Dynamite. It's all expertly done, and all of the voice samples for all the characters are really crisp and clear. and every single bit of the background music for all the different character stages is nothing short of fantastic.
Big tornado.
So there you go, guys. That's Fighter's History Dynamite in a nutshell for the Neo Geo CD. It is an awesome fighting game, and it's also kind of unique. It doesn't feel a lot like some of the other fighting games on the Neo Geo. Not only that, but being that it is as underrated as I feel it is, it's also incredibly affordable. This game can usually be found complete for the Neo Geo CD for somewhere around $15 to $20 at the very most, and for that price, it is definitely worth picking up and adding to your Neo Geo CD library. And if you don't happen to have a Neo Geo CD, there are a couple of other options as far as picking up a copy of Fighter's History Dynamite. It was also released as a Japan-only release for the Sega Saturn, and can be found for roughly around the same price as the Neo CD version, around $15 to $20 or so. If you don't have a Saturn, there's also a release of Fighter's History Dynamite on the Wii's Virtual Console. So go ahead and pick this game up, sit down and spend some time with it. It is an excellent fighting game in every sense.
All right.
As always, guys, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching, subscribing, and of course, even commenting. And until next time, stay classic.